support. So far, we've been having a good time in California, a lot of support, and I think the momentum is picking up. I've been asked, are the numbers growing? Yes, the numbers are growing. More people are coming every single time to our rallies, and that's very good. Somebody said, we're only those young people? I said, no, some of those old people come too. More so, matter of fact, they mentioned this to me a couple of times. Well, it's becoming more diverse. It's not just the young college people. So it is a message that's appropriate, of course, for all of us. We'd like to introduce my wife, Carol, who's sitting down here. And we have a few grandchildren, a few great-grandchildren. We have one grandchild here, Linda, college student. You know, one thing I've emphasized about campaigning, it's such serious business that if you get overly serious, it won't be much fun. So you have to have some fun doing this. It'll get to you. So, but it should be bringing people together who are like-minded, such as the people in this room. There's no reason why we can't have a good time and have fun campaigning, or it will get very old. If you anticipate that all the problems are going to be solved by tomorrow, you'll be too disappointed. You have to look at it with a proper perspective. But this idea about having fun has to be guarded a little bit, because we have a couple here today that they're having fun too because they're on their honeymoon, and they came here for a honeymoon. I hope neither one of them are disappointed, but Donald and Monica Bailey are sitting over here, and thank you for coming here. Now, there are other people who are running for Congress, and there's one individual here, I think John. Who's John sitting around here? John Dennis? There you go. Now, he ran for Congress before, and he's running for Congress again, and let's see if I can figure out who he's running against. I think it's somebody by the name of Nancy Pelosi, something like that. But let me tell you, he'll have fun. He had fun before. He's going to have fun running against her again. But there's a lot of activity going on, and as was mentioned in the introduction, you know, our rallies have been good here in Chico. There was a large crowd, as well as last night in LA, University of LA. But what is difficult, though, and you're all aware of it, is that getting the proper coverage is never the easiest thing in the world. Because after we had this really great rally up in Chico, I went and looked at the internet to find out how they would report it. And the first article I called up said, hundreds of people came to the rally. Which wasn't a lie. There were hundreds, but there were many thousands too. But somebody else was more precise and said 1,000 people showed up. And then another article said, where's Ron Paul? He's not even out there campaigning. What's happened to his campaign? Well, there are a few people who are closed-minded to covering what we're doing. But, you know, when an idea whose time has come, they can't stop us. This message is still going to that's where we should be optimistic. And, you know, the interviews frequently lead up to, well, how many delegates you have, you don't have very many, and this sort of thing. But there are a lot of good things still going on, because most of the elections so far have been, you know, just PR elections. They're straw votes. But the electoral process of working through the delegates, there's quite a few states that we expect to do quite well in, but we won't know exactly how many delegates will be for a couple more months. But there's a lot of enthusiasm, but even from 4 years ago, it's a difference of night and day what's going on in the country. I think it was the oncoming of the economic emergency and the crisis that we had that woke up a lot of people. And even now, people are still very concerned about it, and they know how serious it is. At the same time, the American people woke up and got sick and tired of these wars. And for this reason, our message is resonating with a large number of people, and much more appropriate. One of the challenges, of course, is that the Republican primary is one of the toughest places to sell, you know, the real issue of liberty, which is sort of sad about it. But and the support does come, but it proves the value, it proves the importance of this message. It comes from good conservative Republican constitutionalists, but it also comes from people who are independent, who didn't like either party or just coming into at a voting age. But there's also a lot of Democrats. And I can understand why some of those Democrats who have listened to some of the other Republicans might not feel comfortable coming and voting in a Republican primary. So it is a real challenge. But it's also the blessing of the whole issue, because the issue and the message of the Constitution and the message of liberty does bring us together. And this is one thing I emphasize a whole lot. I think it makes the message very attractive, that we all should endorse liberty. We all should understand why we are important as individuals. And we don't have to do anything by other people telling us what to do, as long as we don't hurt people. Therefore, we all should endorse liberty. We all should come together. And we should all allow other people to run their own lives and spend their own money any way they want.